Hi, it's Bruce. It's Sunday, November 13th, 2011, and I can finally say we're off. We're off to the really good start of the fall season. Now, in the last few weeks I've seen quite a few plays, a couple off-Broadway things, a couple months I guess. A couple off-Broadway things are no longer with us, some were decent, some weren't. I saw a good production of Follies, a very good production, directed by Warren Carlyle, whose name will come up again. But, you know, I felt there were a few flaws in it, even though it's probably the best production of Follies you might ever see in your lifetime, now. Venus in Fur, which has two great performances in it, but the play lacked a little bit for me. And Godspell, which I thought was really well directed and really well cast and really well performed, but basically I think the major flaw in that show is that it's Godspell. So although I liked most of those things, or all of those things, those three things on Broadway at least, I hadn't come to that real huzzah moment, which last year kept coming, 1, 2, 3, 4, with How to Succeed and Priscilla and all those just wonderful fun shows that opened one after another. Finally, we got a winner, folks. HUGH JACKMAN's back on Broadway, and I can say unqualified, fun. HUGH Jackman, what can I say? He's a master performer. He's a master manipulator of the audience. I don't want to say, because you don't see it. But he takes that audience in his hand, and you are with him for 2 hours. And I have to say, the show lasts 2 hours. There's an intermission. He is on stage. I think maybe he's not on stage 2 minutes while he changes back into one of his costumes, which is just a suit. And he only wears 2 different things in the whole show. He comes out. First, you hear him off stage, and this is how we first heard of HUGH Jackman when Bill and I, a long time ago, went to see a revival of Oklahoma in London. We didn't know who HUGH Jackman was. No one did. And you hear him entering off stage singing, "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning." And that's how his show starts now. And it just brought it all back about how we first saw Hugh. Because when we finished seeing Oklahoma back then, we went, who the hell is HUGH Jackman? This guy's brilliant. And we were right. Of course, now he's become a pretty major movie star and a pretty major theater person, and he is one of those people that loves to entertain you. You get goodwill coming out of every pore. Every man, woman, child, everyone is happy for 2 hours in that show. I can't say enough. He has an 18-piece orchestra, I believe. It's 18 pieces. He's got 6 backup female dancers. But other than that, it's Hugh. Singing, dancing, clowning, laughing, telling stories about himself, about the movies, about theater, about his family. And it's pitch perfect. I don't know if you can get a ticket now. It is a limited run. I believe he's going right to film Les Mis and Wolverine after this. Another Wolverine sequel, and I think there may not be any tickets left, but beg, borrow, or steal, HUGH Jackman is worth it. I guess you know I liked it. Alright, well yesterday I saw another thing that I liked. It's got some flaws too, but all in all, there's a revival in previews right now, so I'm sure that they're still working on it, but it's in pretty good shape. Private Lives, Noel Coward's Private Lives. I've seen Private Lives quite a few times. The only production I was trying to remember, Bill and I saw Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, and except for some horrible thing that happened to the audience, which was so memorable, that happened next to us in the audience with some really annoying people and a radio, we don't remember anything about the Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor fiasco of Private Lives, because that's how bad it was. But this one stars Kim Cattrall, she of Sex and the City, and she's quite marvelous. And Noel Coward's dialogue still makes you laugh. It still sparkles. The real discovery here, besides the Kim Cattrall is a great stage presence, is Paul Gross, who I had only seen in a television series called Slings and Arrows, which was about a Canadian resident theater company. He was brilliant in that, and he's brilliant and handsome and dashing and funny in Private Life. So to see Kim Cattrall and Paul Gross go at it, it's remarkable. They're quite a pair. And it's nice to have Amanda, Elliot, Sybil, and Victor all back doing their banter. Sybil, don't quibble, Sybil. Sorry, I had to say it. If you haven't seen the play, that's a line. I'm sorry to blow it for you, but I'm sorry. Don't quibble, Sybil is one of the funniest lines Noah Cowher ever wrote. Sybil is Anna Madeley, and Victor is Simon Paisley Day, I believe his name is. And Simon, if you ever see this, send me a little comment, because I see you were in two of my favorite BBC shows, Doctor Who and Being Human. So I want to know what you did in those, because I've watched every episode of every Doctor Who from, you know, the new part of it. You know, the new 5 or 6 years that it's been on, not the old ones. And I've watched every Being Human. So I was really happy to see someone who'd been in those shows. And he was, both Sybil and Victor were great foils for Amanda and Elliot. Okay, I recommend Private Lives for you who've never seen it. It's a nice production. There's one major thing I didn't like in it, the set in Act 2. Sorry, I just, I thought that set, I know it's supposed to, I have to look into why it was like that way. I know it's supposed to be bohemian in Paris, but it was really not pretty. It did distract me now and then, but it's a mere quibble, Sybil. So other than that, it's a fine production. It's well paced. It's directed by Richard Eyre, and but I'll tell you, the star of the week is Hugh Jackman. That's really great. So I saw two Hughs. You know, I saw Hugh in Venus and Fur and Hugh in Hugh Jackman. So I saw two of my well, Hugh Jackman's Australian, but all the Hughs that I love so much I saw in the last week. All right, well, I hope things keep up, because we're seeing a couple things next week, and it's a busy fall season, but Hugh is the clear winner so far.